Welcome, citizens of YouTube. I am Crosspatch, and this is my YouTube channel, Crosspatch Gaming. And this is the introduction to my Madden 21 Pittsburgh Steelers offline franchise. So this video is going to be an overview of my roster here. Talk a little bit about some of my plans for the players, what I'd like to do with them going forward the next few seasons. I'm going to talk a little bit about my past with the game, which I think is maybe a little bit unique compared to some of the other players doing franchise out there. And it's going to lead to me having some opinions. And I won't get too deep into those opinions in this video, but I'm definitely going to have a lot of opinions and comparisons between some of my past experiences with Madden and this current version, Madden 21. So let's start back in days of yore. Madden 2005. 2005, 2006, 2007. Those were they're definitely my favorite Madden, some of my favorite games of all time. That to me, if you were a franchise player, like those were the golden years of Madden. I played all Madden franchises. I played only franchise mode. I've never even tried to play online. So franchise has always been my thing, and the franchise mode back then, it was fantastic. It was deep and immersive. Not perfect. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, looking back with rose-colored glasses, so to speak. I know how perfect things might have been in previous versions of Madden. Not the case. I mean, they were great, but there's a lot of good things about today's game as well. When Madden changed from the old Xbox and the PS2 to the next gen, that I think was for whatever reason, just turned a lot of players off, me included. And I sort of stopped the last Madden that I owned was Madden 2010 prior to this. And, that was another game that wasn't bad. That was with Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald on the cover. So that's how long ago that was. And, I love that game, too. I mean, it wasn't as good as the ones before, but it was decent. I played thousands of hours on all those games. And then I kind of just fell out of love with it a little bit. I didn't like the way the direction the Madden was going. And but this year I decided to get back to it, and I guess I picked an interesting year with all the controversy and everything. But whatever, here I am, and I will be running my first franchise since Madden 2010. First serious franchise. I've been kind of working on it a little bit, trying to get familiar with the game. I've done some testing and some seasons and things like that. Trying to get my chops back up. I'm definitely rusty, especially playing on all Madden level. Like, it's been a while. So, I'm trying to get it back together. I don't know how good I'm going to be, but we'll see. I'm working with the Steelers here. I've always used the Steelers. They're my favorite team, always have been. I know they're having a great season. I didn't pick them just because of that. They've just always been my team. And every Madden franchise I've ever done has been with the Steelers. And I have a lot of appreciation for some of the players in real life. And that definitely guides my decisions a little bit with the franchise. So, it is what it is. And that's how I play the game. So let's take a look at the roster a little bit, and we'll see what we're working with. And, a little bit about what we'll be doing with some of these guys. So we'll start at the quarterback position. Now, back in the day, if you played Madden, if you were a Steelers fan and you played Madden back in 2006 and you were a franchise player, the position you never had to, for a long time you didn't have to worry about was quarterback. Because you knew you had Ben for 10, 12, 15 years. And as long as you kept him happy and paid him, he wasn't going anywhere. That's not the case anymore. The quarterback position is going to be a big question mark going forward. Ben, I'll have him this year. Hopefully another season or two. Maybe not. I don't know. And behind him, I've got Rudolph and Dobbs. In real life, I think Rudolph has some promise. In this game, I don't think either of these guys are the going to fill Roethlisberger's shoes when he goes. So I'm going to be drafting quarterbacks. I'm going to be looking for that guy, no matter what Ben does after this season in game. I mean, I'm going to be drafting quarterbacks until I find the guy. But I hope he sticks around. The sort of the negative of him sticking around for a season or two is this number right here, 45 million. I can remember when Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay with Favre, and people were talking about Favre leaving and everything, and I used to think, why in the world would you want Brett Favre? Like, why would you want to get rid of Brett Favre? Good Lord. But this is kind of why. Like, when you have this older, big money quarterback, he kind of holds your franchise hostage a little bit. You can't sign as many of those younger guys who are young and eager and looking for money. In the case of the Steelers, in real life and in this game, like, Ben is a difference maker, so he is certainly worth, in my opinion, the money. If whatever happens with the Steelers in real life and in this game, it'll be because of Ben. So, neither of these guys are going to fill his shoes. Neither of these guys are Aaron Rodgers waiting in the wings. So, yeah, Ben is definitely worth the money. But then when we get to a position like running back, I like Connor a lot. A little slow for all Madden, maybe. But he's a bruiser. He runs hard. He's going to be the workhorse. He's going to be the guy getting most of the carries in my offense. And it's a contract year for him. So I don't know what's going to happen to him next year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep him. That is going to depend on what Ben does. Behind him I have Snell here. He's another hard running back, sort of in the same mold as Connor. So he's going to be the backup. He's going to be getting a couple of carries. Maybe more than that. Maybe 3 to 5 carries a game, I hope, depending on how things go. And I also have McFarland. He's a player I like quite a bit. He is smaller, faster, shiftier. He's going to be my third down back and, playing that fourth or fifth wide receiver in passing in empty sets in the passing game. I like him a lot. I don't know where his career is going to go in real life, but in this game, as long as I got him, I'm going to use him because I think he's got some promise. He's a rookie. We'll see how he progresses. But yeah. That's what we got in the running back position. Samuels, I don't know what to do with him. I mean, he's a decent pass catcher. He's not as fast as McFarland. I don't know. I don't know what to do with him, but we'll see if we can work him in somewhere. I've got him as my backup fullback in the depth chart, so maybe that's something. I don't know. But we've got Watt here. I was pretty happy when the Steelers signed Derek Watt. I do like to use the fullback. I do like to run out of the I set, so having a decent fullback is important. He's definitely good enough to do the job. We'll see how long he sticks around, and once my franchise gets rolling, a few seasons from now, the fullback is probably going to be the number 3 tight end, or vice versa. So I don't know if I'll have a dedicated fullback. Definitely a guy who plays fullback, but whether he'll be a third tight end or whether the fullback will be the third tight end, we'll see. At wide receiver here, it's like I feel like a little bit of an embarrassment of riches here. Like, all of these guys are good in my opinion. They've all got decent speed. They're all young. Like, my oldest guys are 24 years old. So every one of these guys I could keep for 10 years and they could be producing in the franchise. Now, realistically, that's not going to happen. Smith-Schuster is going to be one of my starters. My other starter is going to be Claypool. So these are the 2 guys I'd really like to keep for as long as I can in the franchise. Claypool's just a beast. Obviously he's playing well in real life, but I think he's going to progress well in this game as well. Johnson and Washington, I'll be working them in the slot. They're two reliable receivers. Even McLeod, like, if I had to play McLeod every game as a regular receiver, I think he'd do fine. These guys are all decent receivers. So, pretty happy with this position. They're all young. Who knows who I'll be able to hang on to as their contracts expire, but as it stands, I know Smith-Schuster's contract comes up. I'm going to try to re-sign him during the season, but then we'll see what happens with the rest of these guys. At tight end, I got Eric Ebron here. A nice addition to the team. He's 87 speed. Stretched the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch the field a little bit. Yeah, he does all right out there. He's 87 speed. Stretch not really kind of a deep threat, not really as a tight end, but I run him underneath a lot. He's got the speed to like get a few yards after the catch. He does a good job out there. McDonald, more possession guy and a blocker. So between these two guys, I'm pretty happy with the tight end position. They're both a little bit older, so I don't know if they're like my forever tight ends in my franchise, but they are, definitely good enough to get the job done for now. On the offensive line, this is one of those question mark things. Like, whenever I started, at least in the past, when I started a new franchise, one of the first things I looked to rebuild was the offensive line. Offensive line and cornerback, especially if you're playing on all Madden difficulty. I feel like those are the two positions you really need to have some good players at. And right now in offensive line, I've got one very good player, one pretty good player, and a couple of guys that I don't know what to do with. So Villanueva would be the in the pretty good category. 79 overall. He's playing that left tackle position. He gets the job done. He's 31 years old. His contract is up this season. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Again, depends on whether or not Ben retires. Depends on, do I want to franchise tag a left tackle? I don't think so. So I don't know. I don't want to keep him for the long term, but I wouldn't mind having him for another year or two. But same with Filer. He's another guy who's, he's all right. He's not like a guy I want to build around. Pouncey and DeCastro are obviously my two best offensive linemen. They're also two of my oldest offensive linemen. So we'll keep them. I'll keep them as long as they're productive. I'd really like them both to retire as Steelers. Like, that's something it kind of becomes important to me in my franchises, and it's probably silly, and I know a lot of people don't care about that stuff, but I would really like to see Pouncey and DeCastro retire as Steelers in real life, so therefore also in my franchise. That's just kind of how I run things. Obviously, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and tie up a bunch of cap space with guys who aren't getting the job done, but yeah, I don't think that would happen with either of these guys. So, yeah, going forward, we'll see how it hashes out, but I'd really like them both to stick with the team. Okafor, I always feel bad when guys are playing well in real life, but then in Madden, I'm just like, nope. Because he's one of those guys who, he's doing fine in real life. He's getting the job done. But, he's 64 overall right tackle. And he doesn't really have a lot of... he's only 23, so he's going to progress. But how much is he really going to progress? It's 64 overall, 83 strength. Speed is okay. Acceleration, I just don't know. I don't think he's a guy who's... I'm hoping... I know I could go and sign somebody. I know I could go and get a free agent who's probably going to be better than him. I could even move, Wisniewski over and have him play right tackle. But I really kind of like to keep things sort of close to how they are in the real world, at least for the first year of my franchise. After that, I'll move people wherever they fit and wherever I need them. But he's the guy. He's the starter in life. I'll put him out there. If he's getting killed, I'll he's going to be going up against these edge rushers on that side that he just, I don't know. So, if I have to, I'll put one of these other guys in. Even Dotson isn't bad. He's not a tackle, really, but he could play tackle. 90 strength, 66 speed. So, maybe. We'll see how that all works out. I got two at the left end. He's a good player. I'm pretty happy with him. He's a little injury prone. He's he got hurt last year. So now, Madden thinks he's going to be hurt all the time. So I don't know. Okay, whatever. So he's the starter. There's really nobody else to even come close. Wormley is the backup for both of my defensive ends. He's also my number 2 defensive tackle. So I've got a Hayward here, son of Ironhead, If you don't know who Ironhead Hayward is, by the way, who he was, you better get on that Google search. Ironhead Hayward was a beast in his day. And, yeah, I have good memories of watching him play at one point as a kid. Defensive tackle, Alu. He looks like he's got a little bit of a ratings boost since the game came out here, now that I'm looking at it. He's doing a good job in real life, and he's going to get the job done here. Again, I've got Wormley as the backup. Where'd Wormley go? I've got Wormley as the backup at defensive tackle, as well as both end positions. Left outside linebacker TJ Watt is up to a 91 overall. He's the guy I'm going to try to re-sign as much as I can. Keep him around as long as I can. It's going to be hard to keep a lot of these guys around, I know, but I'm going to do what I can. At middle linebacker, Bush is injured in real life, unfortunately. But, in the past when I started a franchise, I'd always be looking for that fast, because I use her the middle linebacker, so I'm always looking for that fast middle linebacker who, has decent acceleration and who I can keep on the team for a decade or longer. And I don't have to look for him. Here he is. Bush is the guy. So he's going to be the guy going, hopefully the next 15, well, maybe 12, 13 years. Williams is a good player behind him. Spillane is playing really well in real life. A little bit low rated and a little bit slow in the game, maybe. I think he's a faster guy in real life, so I don't know. And Gilbert as well. So we've got some decent linebackers in the middle, and we have Dupree and Highsmith at outside linebacker here. Dupree's contract's up. I'm going to try to keep him. Highsmith is a rookie with some potential, a little slow maybe. But yeah, I think if I can't keep Dupree, Highsmith may get a shot, and if I'll have to draft later if it doesn't work out. Cornerback is another one of those positions. Like, all of these guys, they're just too slow. Like, I've got an 87 speed slot corner. And it's a shame, because in real life, they're all playing really well. They're good players. But they got these horrible speed ratings, which maybe on All Pro is alright, but you're playing on All Madden, you kind of need, in my opinion, those mid to low 90s speed corners at least. These guys have to run with Beckham. We might face the Chiefs in the playoffs. They got to run with those guys. So, good Lord, like an 88 speed corner is just not going to do it. So I try to protect them. Do blitz a lot. I guess it's not smart to play a lot of man coverage with 88 speed corners, but I do, and it kind of works out. I blitz a lot. I try to get some pressure on the quarterback. Do what I can to protect these guys. Like I said, they're good players. They're doing a great job in real life. Just like a little too slow for this game. Yeah, it's unfortunate. On the other hand, at safety, I've got 290 speed guys at free safety and strong safety. I've got Fitzpatrick here. One of the best, in my opinion, trades the Steelers have made in my lifetime was getting him. Like, trading for him last year, I don't know who gets credit for that, but that was a good move. We'll give him a first-round draft pick for him any day. And 86, I think that's a little underrated. Like, by the way, let's talk about this. Roethlisberger's an 81. For real? Like, I can understand when the game first launched, the elbow injury and everything. As I'm recording this, the Steelers are undefeated. And Roethlisberger's playing pretty well. And they've got him as an 81? Alright. So, once again, we work with what we got. There's no point in complaining when it comes to Madden. It is what it is. I mean, you can complain if you want, but it doesn't help. So I got Fitzpatrick. I'm going to hang on to him for as long as I can. Edmonds, I think, is a little bit underrated. I think he's going to be a good one as well. He's young. He's only 23. 75 overall, but he's got the 90 speed, 90 acceleration. Get his awareness up a little bit. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good one. And kicking, I've got Boswell, the fourth Killer Bee. Is that what they're? I think that's what they were calling themselves, the Killer Bees, when like Brown and Bell were there. So yeah, he's a remaining Killer Bee. So glad to have him. Hope I can afford him. $5 million for a kicker. I don't know, but yeah, I'll keep him around as long as I can. Jordan Berry's kind of new to the team. Just this past couple weeks, I think the Steelers had Cole quit for most of the season, but he is gone, and Jordan Berry is here. Jordan Berry's, I think, was previously a Steeler as well. So, well, whatever. Kicking power 91, that's good enough. I mean, that's all I really care about. That's fine. I don't care who punts. You can put a guard out there to punt as long as he has good kicking power. That's all I care about. And so, yeah, that's the roster basically. I'm going to have Hilton. I already went over. I'm going to have Johnson and Washington as the slot receivers. I'm going to have McLeod returning kicks and punts. And then I'm going to have Nelson and Hayden as my starters at corner. Hilton's going to play in the slot. I don't know if that's a good decision or not. I'm mostly doing it because of the 87 speed and because that's where he plays in real life. So, I do play a lot of nickels, so I don't know. He's going to be on the field a lot anyway. But he's my best corner. He's an 83 overall. And, yeah, it is what it is. So that's about the size of that. As for settings, I am playing on all Madden. I the 6.5 minute quarters are a little. What was it? 6 minute quarters were a little ridiculous. So I experiment a little bit with 10 minute quarters. That was kind of ridiculous in the opposite direction. So I've kind of settled on 8 minute quarters. Like I don't think there's ever a perfect answer to that. It's always like getting the correct number of total plays versus the correct realistic scores versus realistic stats. Like, it's never going to be perfect. So I think 8 minute quarters is a pretty good compromise between all of that. And at least it has been for me in my playing style. I haven't messed with sliders. I don't usually care to do that. Mostly because it just seems like when you start messing with sliders, it's like never ending. Like you're always going to be chasing like the perfect slider setup, and I don't think such a thing exists. So I don't even bother. I just leave it on. EA decides these are the sliders. That's good enough for me. I leave it on that, and so we're playing on default sliders. The only thing I did alter was the roughing the kicker. I turned that off because that just appears to be broken, and if I see patch notes or something that says that was fixed, I'll turn it back on. The pre-existing injuries, I turn those off. Most obviously, it's nice to get Bush back. I'm happy about that. But mostly it's because when I play some of these teams, like I don't want to play the Giants without facing Barkley. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. It just seems more interesting, more exciting to play. And if they get hurt during the season, they get hurt during the season. That's the way it goes. But I want to start with a clean slate. We'll play against these guys. In their beginning of the season state. So that's about it. Like I said, this is the introduction video. I'll have episode 1, the first episode coming out, where we are going to face off just as the Steelers did in real life against the New York Giants. And like I said, I'm a little rusty, so wish me luck. I'd be welcome to hear any pointers in the comment section as I'm playing these games. So we'll see how it goes. I used to be pretty good at this game. I don't know if I am anymore, but we'll find out. And I appreciate you watching this video. It is actually my first ever YouTube video. So the channel is brand new. If you wouldn't mind following us or me and hitting that like button, I'd find it really helpful. And thanks a lot. You have a great day.